A lot of games will wear their influences on their sleeves. Steelborn is the rare game to just list the games they like in their Steam description. Name-checking Ranger Rags, Contra, Metal Slug, and even Blaster Master, developer Vega Horizon Studio wants you to know that they grew up loving the same games that you did and funneled all that nostalgia into their newest retro-themed action game. The result is a fun throwback shooter with beautiful pixel graphics and a kickin' soundtrack. But is their newest run-and-gun action game better than the classics? Find out now when I review Steelborn. It's the distant future, and Earth headquarters has recently lost contact with one of the remote colonies on the otherwise unremarkable planet of VL-744. Assuming it's no big deal, the Major and his trusty mech suit have been sent down to the planet in what was supposed to be an ordinary reconnaissance mission to see what happened. Of course, knowing that this is a science fiction action game, we already know that there will be nothing ordinary about this mission. It won't take long before the aliens show up, turning what was supposed to be an easy job into something a whole lot harder and deadlier. From the moment the Major and a Steelborn mech land on VL-744, you can immediately see the classic gameplay elements that inspired the developer. This is a side-scrolling run-and-gun shoot-'em-up similar to Contra, only this time around the Major can exit his giant mech in order to investigate caves, buildings, and other confined spaces, a mechanic that comes straight out of Blaster Master. Look, we can draw straight lines to classic games all day, but the truth is, all of these borrowed elements add up to an action game that feels surprisingly fun and fresh. It helps that it largely steers clear of the Metroidvania formula that we've seen in a lot of indie games, instead focusing on giving us one exciting moment after another, no matter if we're on foot or in the metallic confines of the Steelborn suit. The fact that the game seamlessly switches between the two modes is the real standout here. We get those epic battles between the mech and some massive alien creature, but not at the sacrifice of exploring the overrun planet. The best parts of Steelborn happen when the Major is poking around the planet and picking up new weapons and items. This is where the claustrophobia kicks in, with speedy aliens barreling at you from all sides. The 360-degree aiming and the nice assortment of powerful guns gives us a fighting chance against the beautifully designed and genuinely challenging bad guys. And just wait until you see some of the incredible boss fights in the back half of the game. Steelborn does a great job of constantly ratcheting up both the action and the tension. It helps that the game doesn't get bogged down in any one location for too long. We actually end up seeing a lot of VL-744. The developer has done an excellent job of world building through all the pixel graphics. There's also a story full of twists and turns happening around you, including a lot of dialogue between the Major and the supporting cast. I feel like a lot of the story beats aren't quite as original as they could have been, but on the other hand, they do a good job of keeping you invested in this alien world and the fate of Earth. Now, as a throwback game, Steelborn is fun. If you're a fan of the type of games the developer name-dropped, then you're almost certainly going to have a good time playing the side-scrolling shooter. That said, this game is far from perfect. For one thing, I'm just not a big fan of the way the mech controls. It's understandably slow and unwieldy, which is fine when you're fighting a swarm of aliens, but a real pain when you're navigating your way through a platforming section. The jumping and dashing moves aren't quite as reliable or precise as I would have liked, leading to a lot of frustrating and unnecessary deaths. It's also extremely easy to get caught in the environment, which kinda made me dread using the Steelborn suit. I also found it disappointing that you can't upgrade the mech in any way. The Major is constantly finding new weapons when he's on foot, but there's nothing like that for the Steelborn. You're stuck with the standard gun and punch move from beginning to end, which made some of the boss fights feel a bit samey. I had a lot more fun controlling the Major, even if he has a boring selection of guns. Not only does he control significantly better, but he has a better melee move and can speed around avoiding cheap hits. Both sides of the game could use a little tightening up. And that goes for the stability, too. Steelborn has this bad habit of randomly crashing. Look, don't get me wrong, the game is good about giving you plenty of spots to save, so you're never going to lose too much progress. But let me tell you, the crashes are really annoying and constantly interrupt the incredible action. You know what, I can live with a few cheap deaths here and there, but those crashes need to be resolved. If you're able to overlook some of these flaws, then you're going to find a fun and challenging throwback shoot-'em-up with great pixel graphics and some truly memorable bosses. Jumping between the mech and the on-foot missions helps to set this game apart from the typical run-and-gun fare, and the visual world building is on point from beginning to end. It may not be as good as the games it's borrowing from, but Steelborn still deserves to be part of the conversation. If you're a fan of old-school action games like Contra, Metal Slug, and Blaster Master, then you're going to enjoy the throwback thrills of Steelborn. By switching between a giant mech suit and on-foot missions, the game does a great job of mixing up the excitement, all while introducing us to new guns, gorgeous backgrounds, and some truly memorable boss fights. Unfortunately, controlling the mech suit is frustrating and the game is constantly crashing. While a bit unpolished and in serious need of some tightening up, Steelborn still remains a fun and enjoyable shoot-'em-up that borrows from the past in order to feel fresh and unique in the present. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite mech game? Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a special EGM Ranks episode covering Ridge Racer. I'm also currently reviewing Postal 4, No Regret. Hopefully that subtitle is accurate. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Till then.